Another rainy day in Ketchikan. Alright, so today I'm going to go over the things that are wrong with my 50-foot sailboat, starting in the cockpit. So, first off, the wood all needs to be redone. It's cracking, needs to be sanded. There's wood that goes over these. I'm sure you can see where these lines are. It's where the, I guess, dirt accumulated in between them. They're not on there right now. They'll have to be sanded and taken care of. Same with this table. Have to be sanded and taken care of. All of this and all of my bright work on the side needs to be sanded. It's all been very neglected. Sorry, I'm under a tarp just because, you know, it's raining every day pretty much. I get everything done outside I can. So that's pretty much it. Some of my electronics need to get power. I have a Garmin Navionics unit that I have pulled off just because I didn't want it to get messed up out here or stolen. So I'm going to clean all this up, make sure it's getting good power, and then obviously deal with that before I go in the water. Now when it comes to the outside of the boat, there was a lot of rust. So I already ground down the rust, and I've coated it multiple times and painted it and done lots of stuff there. There'll be videos on that in the future, but just know that that was one more thing that was, I would say, not good on this boat. There was tons of rust in the front and the back, the bow and the stern, however you want to put it. There was a lot of rust pretty much everywhere. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't so deep and that pretty much there was no issues that needed to be further investigated. So that's that. And that's pretty much all that needs to be done in this cockpit area. Let's go down into the pilot house. Alright, so the first room we're going to be talking about is going to be this storeroom. It definitely needs a lot of work. The floor, I don't know what they did with that. I don't know if that's appropriate wood. I'll have to investigate it, or I think it's tile over wood. I can't really tell. Haven't really looked hard into that at this moment. I'm going to have to go through all these liquids and paints and wires and spare parts and brushes and epoxies and see what all they had in here and obviously organize it better. But that's just one room. Let's go over into let's look into the engine bay real quick. So obviously I've been working on the sea chests. Sea chests need to be all done, pretty much cleaned up. That looks better than it did. Pretty much descaled it all, core seal, and then I'll do 235 epoxy. I do that on all the steel that I clean up. The wiring. So let's just take a little moment of silence for this wiring. Filters need to be done. Raw water filters. Pretty much every filter needs to be done. Let's admire this. So on top of that, the engine has a huge oil leak. There's tons of oil down in the bilge. These are two giant diesel tanks on each side. They seem to be in good working order. Clean diesel. Brake cores seem to be clean. This is the type of wiring, though, that I have to deal with. Obviously, I'm going to do a full rewire of a lot of stuff before I take this anywhere far. Sorry, my tools are in the way from working. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. Look at this. Look at that. So they've wired this to where you can barely open the door. You pull wires out, which probably I just did. If you pull too hard and open the door, nothing's labeled. There's literally one label. I mean, this is just a mess. So we've got, you know what I mean, a lot of work ahead of us. I'm going to probably put new switch panels, new stuff like that. It does have a, I guess I can go this way. So it does have like a autopilot, and you know, here's your Garmin, here's the one from outside. But like, so I'm assuming this was stock, I would say, and this was added after, but like it just doesn't make sense. I don't know. I do have an inverter. This is a bilge dryer system. There's a bunch of batteries underneath here. Don't really want to open it. Here, I'll give you like a little peek. Bunch of batteries in there. Alright, so let's get down into the galley. So the fridge unit does not work. The compressor kicks on, probably just needs Freon, or hopefully it's not one of these electronic units that go out. But I want to go through everything, make sure the fridge works. Everything else is pretty nice in here. It needs to be cleaned, maybe a nice fresh coat of some food grade epoxy just to keep it nice. Everything needs to be cleaned. This water tank, there's a water tank down here. It just looks a little rusty. Probably need to go through that one first. It's the hardest one to get to, I think. So, they have like a pail underneath these T-valve, probably because it was leaking, so I'll have to investigate that. These are all the through holes look good. I investigated those before I obviously took this out of the water. Wasn't really leaking anywhere. So these wires, there's wires everywhere in here that are literally cut and go to nothing. All this stuff, literally, goes to nothing. So I want to go through all the wiring on this boat. Let's move forward. It's kind of a mess. I've been going through everything, clearly, as you would if you're trying to buy it. The bathroom's not bad. Everything flushes and everything. I think it needs to be cleaned. I plan on doing a full rip out of this whole bathroom and redoing it just because I think it'd be nice. Get this water heater off the counter. I don't understand why like that design doesn't make any sense to me, but I know people were just adding stuff after the fact and didn't really, they're probably doing it for ease of use rather than, I would say, common sense. A little bit of rust in here, nothing big that I would worry about. Obviously I'm going to clean everything up and epoxy it all, make it all nice. I have a Dickinson heater. Dickinsons are awesome. They're, you know, and mine's got water heat, so mine actually runs, I don't know if you can see them, let me see it, it'll be easy. Mine runs these little heaters that go throughout the whole boat. They're circulated everywhere. And then, so it pumps water, pretty much it gets diesel, pumps water through these pipes into this. There's like an expansion tank right there, and then just pumps pretty much hot water throughout the whole boat, keeps it all warm, as well as the heater itself being right here, keeping the main common area warm. If I move all the way forward into the forward cabin, just typical spray foam where people couldn't get seals or gaps, or maybe they had leaks, or who knows. It's hard to tell whenever you can't see. It's rains enough here, so obviously I haven't had any issues with that. Leaks, I will go over that in a second on the way out, but this room's not bad. I would say this is probably needs the least work. The walls are a little scuffed up. I have this little, I don't know what it's little, they had a sail in it, this little locker thing up here. I think I would eventually just rip this whole thing out and make it a nice bigger room, but hard to say. There's like a little sink back here. I feel like it doesn't really have much use, and a little cupboard, but I'll have to get into what I want to do with that. We don't even know which room we're going to use as ours at the moment. I like that room, but we'll see. So on the way out, this skylight leaks. I don't know if you can see where it leaks down, but it leaks down here. It's obviously not raining hard. You can see where it was leaking down. I'll have to fix that. And then, let's see. This window leaks. It leaks through this seal and leaks all around that, and then drips, then runs down the wall over here. So I'm going to probably pull, honestly, I'll probably start with this window just because it's leaking and learn how to do it on that one, and then slowly go around and do all these windows just to make sure I don't have any leaks in the future. Keep all this wood in nice condition. It's all really solid wood. I feel like you can't really get this type of fitting and wood in new wave construction. There is so on this area goes a bed. I have the bed right here just to get it out of my way. I was planning on pulling the engine out, setting it over here, and cleaning up this whole bay, but I was obviously pressed for time in certain areas. So I put the bed in here. There's a nice little, I would say, aft cabin back here. Same little sink, I don't understand. But a nice aft cabin. I think we're going to probably, this is what I'd like to be as my room, just because it's pretty close to everything that I need. And then if we ever have guests, they can be on, they can be in the forward cabin and they have access to the toilet and the kitchen and everything. And they don't really have to come back through this whole pilot house area. But that's just my plans. But alright, so far that's pretty much all I know of that's bad with the boat. There's probably way more that I'll find. I'm going to obviously film everything that I do. I have a lot more videos that I'm going to post with doing, like, say, the bottom paint and all the exterior paint, changing the color, and also just fixing the skylights and anything that I do really. Once I start the wiring, it's probably going to be a multi-video process. Probably a video of me pulling the wiring and kind of labeling and chasing and seeing where everything goes. And then after that, I will make the video of me actually installing, running new wires, and running new panels, and that'll be just the wiring part. But I don't know when I'm going to do that. I also want to get the engine pretty well taken care of, and I want to make sure it's in good working order, has no leaks, stuff like that. But all right, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, let me know how to do. Deuces.